one of my favorite welterweights, Carlos Prates.
Big honor for me.
Heard you come in. That Ross dropped. I was like, oh, and then I was like, let me research this dude a little bit. Smoking the cig. I was like, I like him.
I was like really confident. I'm gonna knock him out anytime. He's a really good fighter.
You start hearing he's a cock, blah, blah, blah. In reality, the dude is a gamer.
Who's one fighter that you wish you could fight?
Young Gary again.
Hey! But if you were Dana White, how do you see it?
Leon Edwards against Carlos Prates.
Not a bad fight. I like that.
Bro, what he did was really good work.
Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you?
Yeah.
It's a different animal.
Who is the most overrated welterweight?
Overrated is like
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
A Shadowline production.
Thanks so much, brother. Big honor for me being here today, talk with you both. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Of course, my man. You know, I've been saying it. When we get a chance, we talk about you all the time. You know, I always say, you know, one of my favorites right now to kind of watch because I love the approach into what you're doing. I know there's a lot of things being made of you, you know, smoking a cig, you know, having a little
the
drink.
Mayorga, Ricardo Mayorga of MMA, bro.
But, you know, coming in, bumping that Ross. But, my man, I love it because at the end of this day, you know, if it's part of your identity, that's part of your identity. When people start to really see it, people start to dig in. They're like, man, I like that. Because I remember they were like, oh, yeah, Carlos Prates is fighting. I think I heard you seen you fight before. But when you fought Lee Jinglane, you know, when you fought him, I heard you come in and that Ross dropped. I was like, oh, shit. And then I was like, let me research this dude a little bit. Then this video's coming out of you smoking the cig. I was like, oh, I like him. You know, so like I said, it becomes part of your identity. Of course, you know, as you start to kind of grow in your profession, you become smarter. You know, you make better decisions as far as your preparation. You know, so I just want to tell you that I like it. Even though I'm sure the internet and MMA gives you crap about it, hey, do you. As long as you can still prepare and get out there in your fights, do you. You know, so let us know a little bit. I mean, how does that make you feel when you seeing all the memes and everyone saying these things?
Yeah, I feel good being like me, you know, that's my lifestyle, bro. I like to go to the party. I smoke cigarettes. I think I smoke cigarettes since 12 years old, and it's my lifestyle. I do that, you know. So like people who like me, watch me the fight, you know, like people who come here this week to meet me and get the sign and things like that, they want to see me, you know. They don't want to see fake Carlos Prates or things like that. So I like to be real, you know. That's my lifestyle. Of course, some things I like to do, I say to a lot of people, they don't do that, you know. But I don't know if it's gonna work for you.
Don't do as I say.
You know?
Don't do as I do. Do as I say.
So disclaimer, you know, you're like, don't smoke cigarettes.
Don't do that, but you know, it's me. It's Carlos. You know, it's the way I like to do. I like to be. I don't know how to be on different way. You know, I just know how to enjoy my life and how to work hard. You know, the both things I know how to do, and I'm doing that really good.
But I see. You know, we talked a little bit prior to this interview, and it seems like you come from a maybe not necessarily. Your mom is very educated, an English teacher.
Yeah,
you were saying. So I imagine, particularly because obviously my wife is brilliant, but if you have a profession like that, it's like it's not like you're just you. It's like you're not from the bottom of the gutter, but you understand. You know, your mom has done a good job with having the educational side to get you guys across and whatnot.
Yeah. You know, my mom she was an English teacher when she was working, but I never studied with her, you know, because she was really angry, you know. And I learned English when I moved to town.
She was angry, or you weren't doing what you needed to do?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, she was a teacher, so all the time when I was a child, she looking for good schools to me to study and things like that, you know. And yeah, she's having like if I'm here today, she like 80% of the hard work is from my mom, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And then I moved to Thailand, then I learned English and things like that. In Brazil, I knew English, but I didn't know how to speak English, you know. It's different. Like you knew English and speak English, like when like I heard what you say,
Right.
and then they give the answer and things like that. Yeah, but she had also all the hard work with me. I think 8% of all the things I got today on these days is from my mom.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that's true too. Is you know, you can understand something, but if you're not really forced to speak it,
Yeah.
you don't. And like you mentioned, you went to Thailand. When did you go to Thailand?
I moved to Thailand 2015.
2015. How old were you?
Yeah, and then I live in 2020 because COVID stopped everything.
Right.
And then I back to Brazil to help my mom, you know, because I was in Thailand.
Yeah.
And then I saw on TV like everybody's dying and things like that, you know, the world was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was worried about my mom. And then I back to Brazil. And then I still living there until today.
Yeah, man. I mean, what made you move to Thailand? Because you were in Brazil.
Yeah.
Clearly, your mother wanted you to just study, but you wanted to do something else.
Yeah, you know, when I was younger, like even my mom looking to good schools, to good place to me to study, I didn't like to study too much. I did a lot of sports. I play soccer, surf, karate, many sports. But I started to give some troubles to my mom, you know, because she was working all day and then I was on the street and then I started to make some trouble and then she make me work like since I was really young and 14 years old. And then I work too much and I say, bro, I'm gonna do something. I don't need to work, you know. And then I really like to fight and then I started training. And 2015, I was like,
how old were you?
15, 16.
She's like a maybe junior,
Okay.
sophomore in high
Yeah.
school.
And then I moved to Thailand because I was not on really good moment on my personal life. You know, like I didn't make weight on really important fight in Brazil, and I have some problems on my personal life in my city. And then I decided to move a little bit to Thailand to think about my life, you know, learn new things also. And then I was just to travel to Thailand and stay there for 6 months. And I stayed there like almost 6 years, you know, because the lifestyle there is really good. The training is really good, you know. We have many gyms there, Tiger Muay Thai, Phuket Top Team, Bang Tao, Phuket Fight Club. And then I was there training hard, learn a lot of things, and also like living like a holidays, you know, train and go to the beach and go to the party. And it's a cheap lifestyle. Some point of my life also, I was thinking like I ever didn't think more about to sign UFC and things like that. I just was like there and thinking like just gonna fight kickboxing and Muay Thai in China and Dubai, make money, living here in Thailand, spend money, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and then COVID come and then stop everything and then I back to Brazil and then another chapter of my life start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've seen that chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in the Contender Series, right?
Yeah.
So you get in the Contender Series and you get you get the contract into the UFC, and I mean, you hit the ground running. You didn't stop. I mean, every fight, and you're finishing guys, and you're doing it in a spectacular fashion. I mean, you're knocking dudes' heads off,
Knees to the body.
dudes, to the body, and these are obviously, the things that you have to do in order to see the progression.
Yeah.
Because then you start to gain more and more trust within the company. UFC's like, oh, we like this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we give him more, we give him more, we give him a bigger opportunity. And you've capitalized on every one of those opportunities. Your last fight, first defeat in the UFC.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty big step up. But that shows how much trust the company had in you at that time. Pretty big step up, but even to then, I think you fought to the last minute. Talk a little bit about the fight and how you felt in that fight with Ian.
Bro, it was a little bit hard to talk about that like 1 month ago, because it was 6 years without loss, knocked everybody out, and Ian Gary was really great. He's a really good fighter, but I knew who trained with me knew, my coach knew it was a really big mistake I did on the fight. I was like, we come to the fight with a game plan, and I didn't come to the game plan. I didn't try to make my game plan. I was like really confident, like I gonna knock him out anytime. I have 5 rounds, and also he's really smart, really good fighter, really smart, and I lost the fight like how I can say, bro. I feel like I did something wrong. Of course, he won the fight. No excuse. But I feel like
you didn't execute.
Yeah,
that's why you lost.
Yeah, we can fight again, and I'm gonna do different.
Right.
And
but I also feel like too, Carlos, I think people got to give Ian Gary their flowers. Like, bullshit aside, what people could say about him, blah blah blah. The dude is a fucking gamer.
Yeah.
And I knew it, like, without due respect, I kind of felt like, man, Carlos is really taking this step up against a guy that's really starting to have belief.
Yeah.
And he's like, and there's one thing about Ian that he's done correctly is he's really upped his defense.
Yeah.
His jab is fucking fast.
Yeah.
And then he's kicking. Like, he's
Yeah.
fucking, he kicked you quite a bit, where I feel like he broke your foundation a little bit to where Carlos really couldn't get going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk a lot. I actually had to apologize to that dude because there was just, you start hearing shit. He's a cuck, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But in reality, the dude could fight, and if you do not take a guy serious, and I'm not saying that you didn't, but tactically, I could say something about Ian Gary. He's a fucking competitor.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to have belief, and I already knew that, but he was able to show it in that fight with Carlos. But looking at the landscape now, Carlos, at 170 pounds, I mean, obviously you got Kamaru Usman, who just had a spectacular fucking talk about a way to really break somebody down. That's what Kamaru showed. 170 pounds, I feel like anybody can kind of jump in there. If it ain't Kamaru Usman, I mean, there's Sean Brady.
Yeah.
There is Rachmanov.
Yeah.
I mean, that weight class, like, if you want to talk about names, Kamaru's next.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, and if you're a guy like Dana White, how would you pair and match everything up at 170 pounds?
For sure, Jack Della Maddalena against Makhachev.
Makhachev gets it done?
I don't know, bro. I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose his fight against Belal Muhammad, but he proved like he break it, like he got injury, and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah.
And then he come to different level, bro. If you see his career, he fought against Randy Brown. He got the win by split decision. And then fought another guy, I don't remember the name. The guy Evan is not more on UFC.
Dan Hot Chocolate.
Also
Roberts.
split decision. And then the really good name he fought was Gilbert Burns.
Right.
And he gets mashed during all the fight. And then on the end of the fight, Gilbert got tired. And then he grew up on the fight like the last minute and knocked him out. And then everybody was like, I don't know everybody. I cannot say everybody. But me was like, bro, Belal Muhammad gonna smash him. Like gonna be a board fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. Like he grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. And if there's one thing that I could say in that fight, I don't feel like Belal was himself that fight. But whatever, dude, it is what it is. It happened. Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah,
he's a blanket, bro.
Yeah.
The top control that Islam has in comparison to Belal is completely different. But whatever happens in that fight, I get that. But if you were Dana White and you had to set up a 4-man bracket to get to the title, how do you see it?
All right, and then Kamaru Usman against who? Tell my name. Tell my name.
There's a lot because Sean Brady now.
Sean Brady
or Sean Brady.
Sean Brady. Both.
So you would skip Ian.
I think Sean Brady. Sean Brady is number one contender.
Number one. Yeah, I think so. I think
Sean Brady.
Yeah,
You know.
number one or number
Yeah,
two.
but what about
It would be good to
course.
see Kamaru for the belt. You know, the GOAT of the division. But we know now the lightweight champ come up, so fight against the champ. Okay, so Kamaru against number one contender.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shavkat against Belal Muhammad. And I
Because
think
that fight was supposed to happen, right?
right?
Yeah.
If I can put it
and
together.
I think Leon Edwards against Carlos Prates.
Hey,
That's not a bad fight. I like that. I like that.
I don't know if I'm asking too much or if it's saying too much, you know, but you know, if it was Dana White, like you said,
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
do
yeah.
that.
No, I mean the division right now. I mean, you've got guys to where I think if they collectively still keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many names. You've got Bilal. You've got myself. You've got Ian. You've got Prates. You've got Buckley. You've got Shavkat. You've got Geoff Neal still there. You've got
The guy who just
Sean Brady.
Morales.
You got Morales. You can't forget about
Can I
him.
stop you there? That's a fight that I would want to see. I'd like to see Morales versus Prates.
yeah.
Morales.
I think
gonna be
Morales, because MMA is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with those small little gloves, what Morales does bring to the table is he brings power. He may not have the
Yeah.
technique and all the weapons like calls Prates the knees
Yeah.
and shit like that. But if he touches you, it's different.
Yeah. And now I'm excited to fight again, you know, because now I'm training with Mota. He's a former MMA coach. And like he come to my house and we start to watch my last fight, you know, and he said, he showed me like a lot of small mistakes, what I can fix. And then like he become like a different fighter, you know, like he maybe change a little bit my style or be more smart, intelligent, you know. So I'm excited now. I'm training with him, and I'm excited to step on the cage and show everything what I learned from him, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you train down there with the fighting nerds.
Yeah, I train on my city,
Yeah.
Taubaté, with my team VTT, and then I come to São Paulo and train at Fighting Nerds also. When I have fights, maybe 3 times per day on my city, 3 times per day in Fighting Nerds.
Right. Now, real quick, a couple of rapid fire questions that we want to ask because I mean you've got a great career. Your next fight, obviously you're excited, you want to fight. It hasn't been announced yet. So we're anxious, we're looking forward to that. But, a couple of questions I think some of the fans, I know I want to know, especially you going down there with the Fighting Nerds. We've had another, one of Fighting Nerds guys on the show, but we didn't get to ask him this question. But everyone knows, like when you're in the gym, especially a big gym like that, you know who the big lion is in the gym.
Yeah.
Just that one big lion where you're like, oh yeah, that dude's good. That dude's nice.
Yeah.
Who would you say right now is that big lion in the gym? Where
I think Caio.
Caio Borralho.
Yeah. He's a different level. Yeah. Like I'm good about to hurt people's. Rufy is like good to knock people out. Jean is good on different things.
Right.
But Caio is good in everything. You know. Yeah. If me, Jean, and Caio do sparring with Caio, he can finish all the 3 guys in just one day, okay, finish one, okay, next, okay, finish, and then next, okay, finish.
Yeah.
He have a good boxing.
So he's like the mathematician. He puts it all together.
No, and I could see it too. And I told this to him earlier. I think what separates Caio from all of you guys is he brings in fucking takedowns.
Yeah.
And, as a guy who's a wrestler who does all this, like, all right, the dude can strike, he does X, Y, and Z, but the simple fact that he can bring in those takedowns at the right time to steal the rounds, it says a lot about him. So I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah.
As talented as Hoofy is, 'cause I saw Hoofy, I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Like, this dude is like, dude, he's scary, bro.
Yeah.
And just fucking with them, just playing with them, like, whoa. But then what happens when the grappling comes in? What happens when you go against a monster of a wrestler? And those are the questions to be answered. But that being said, I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Okay, now a couple more questions. Favorite fighter of all time?
Anderson Silva.
I like that.
Yeah.
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 Who is the most overrated welterweight? Right now.
Overrated is
Yeah.
like I don't know, bro. You know, usually like I start to watch MMA and UFC like since 1 year ago. Because before I watch only soccer. Yeah.
Shit, 12 months ago.
So-
Kamaru, how does that make you feel? And he's over here smashing
of course,
dudes.
I watch like Kamaru, Usman, Adesanya, and things like that. You know, like the big guys. Like, but not all like
In the
all the
sport,
event.
yeah.
Like I'm gonna sit on my sofa and gonna watch UFC all the event. You know, but bro, I have no idea.
Okay, who would you say is underrated?
I think Carlos Prates.
Hey.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Briat.
Okay. Greatest Brazilian fighter of all time.
I think Anderson Silva. Yeah.
A good list.
Yeah.
Nogueira.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo.
Yeah. I think
Pele, you
I think
know.
Anderson Silva, because have a really good skills on what he did and things like that. But Minotauro is a different
Legend.
kind of guy, you know.
Yeah.
The like he
It's like
when
the people's champ.
yeah,
dude.
what he need or what he did on Pride and then UFC, you know, every fight's like he got smashed during the beginning of the fight and then
Yeah, not
the
just that,
fight.
but Minotauro has a heart of gold, bro. You feel like
Yeah.
you're with an uncle, like a real
Minotauro,
personal
Renzo
uncle. dude.
Gracie,
Yeah.
all these guys, legends. in
yeah,
the
but I
sport.
think if I can
Vitor
choose just
Belfort.
one, if I
Yeah.
can choose just one, I think would be Anderson.
Yeah, you
Anderson.
have to,
Yeah,
bro. There's-
yeah. Most of part of my career, I was like watching Anderson Silva and try to do the same. You know, like he try to walk on the cage, on the ring. Try to he sparred me many times for so long, like in many years. Since I think when I start to train Muay Thai, yeah, until maybe 3 years ago, you know, I was like every time watching Anderson Silva. Yeah.
Who's one fighter in the UFC that you wish you could fight?
Of course now Jake de la Madalena.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I think if he's not champion, I think Ian Gary again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In
like
history,
that.
what about in
Revenge.
history?
History, bro. I think Anderson
King
Silva
Kong.
also. You know, yeah. I remember when I saw like Anderson Silva against Adesanya, and Adesanya is really big fan of Anderson.
Yeah.
And I remember like when they finished the fight, he was like crazy to fight against his idol.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Yeah, it would be cool. Or maybe Adesanya, you know, I'm really big fan of Adesanya.
Yeah.
Also, I like his style, the way he think during the fight, his skills. Maybe Anderson or Adesanya would be.
Yeah. Now,
Cool.
obviously in Brazil, jiu-jitsu is such a huge sport.
Yeah.
And obviously jiu-jitsu has made such a huge impact in MMA and especially in the UFC. So who do you think is the greatest grappler, Brazilian grappler that's been in the UFC history?
It's hard because Charles have the most submission, but I think jiu-jitsu by jiu-jitsu, I think Demi Maia is little bit better, you know. Yeah. Charles is different because he's good on strike also. He come and give you a lot of pressure, and then like you cannot hold that pressure, and then you try knocking him, taking him down, and then he do a guillotine and things like that, you know. But if you see Demian Maia, every time he go to your leg, take down, got your back, and then gonna smash you and
But not
choke
just,
you.
but not just that, bro. Even to add to it, people forget about this.
Yeah.
Fabrizio Verdun.
Yeah.
Verdun was so
Yeah.
underrated, bro. People did never really
Yeah.
give them credit for a lot of
Yeah.
as a heavyweight too.
Yeah, I really like to watch jiu-jitsu fights with Gi from the old times, you know, and then you can see like Demian Maia fighting against Verdun. Many times Terere, you know, Terere is really good jiu-jitsu fighter against Andre Galvão, and you know, I really like. I don't really like to watch too much today, like BJJ. Yeah, too much rules, too much, you know. But before it's really nice, and Demian Maia with Gi, bro, is one of the best.
Yeah, I know. I fought Demian Maia. Sure, I had to hold him up. I was holding the cage. I was like,
you fought him smart, man. You kept it on your feet.
Of
you
course.
Yeah.
I watched him choke some guy and his nose was bleeding in the middle of it. Like,
you have to respect the game. Even when that fight with Anderson Silva, like Anderson Silva was like, we're going here, man. Boring as hell. He was, you know, I know Dana started hating him after that fight, but you got to respect the game.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Carlos, you know, there's a lot right now that in the welterweight division, and you are one of those names that people are really, really excited about. I'm excited about. Like I say it all the time. You know, you're one of my guys that I have my eye on in the division. Like, man,
he's fighting your boy Randy Brown next. Did you know that?
No. I mean, I saw the face off, but that's cool. It was
not
yet. That's a fight that you guys like. Both of you guys want that fight.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, it looked cool. I just saw the clip of you guys doing a face-off. I mean, if UFC sees that, they're like, oh, I like that fight. Let's make that. You know, because both of you guys are really there, have great wins in the UFC.
We talking yesterday, they asked me to fight. The fighting is on the work, not against Andrew Brown, but we are working. I think next week you're going to have the news.
Okay, man. Hey, we are excited. We can't wait to see it. You've done some great things in your career, not just in your career. I kind of, obviously I had to study you a little bit because I called one of your fights, is kind of seeing how you kind of put things together and you're starting to kind of grow up into it now. It's not just a kid just want to do whatever. I'm starting to grow up, be more responsible. I've got a mom that I care for, I want to take care of. I've got a child, you know, that I'm taking care of as well. So all of these things, I mean, they make you mature, you know, and it's starting to show inside that octagon because you take it serious now.
Yeah.
So, man,
agree.
I got my eye on you, man. And, you know, and a lot of people are definitely very, very excited for you and can't wait to see all the good things that you do in the future. My man, congrats on everything. Hey, we watching, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's huge for me listening what I listen from you, you know. I was on the car, talk with my friends, and I say it's hard to be close of Kamaru, you know, because for me, Kamaru is the GOAT of a welterweight. And sometimes, you know, I'm a UFC fighter and things like that. It's okay, but, you know, for me, it's still not normal. Like yesterday, I meet Adesanya, and like I got goosebumps, you know, because I'm really fan of him. And sometimes I meet Kamaru.
Don't friend them, bro. Don't fucking be friend them.
And sometimes I was on the car, come to the podcast, and I tell my friends, like sometimes I look Kamaru, and I'm like, you know, like you cannot say nothing. Just,
dude, don't give him a bigger head.
Just look into this guy, you know.
But, hey, man,
it's nice. Thank you for the words. Thank you so for everything.
That's an honor. And you know, like I said, you being you, continue to be that, and the fans, everybody sees it. People gravitate towards it, and people are gonna love it as long as you're authentic and you yourself. But man, as always, man. This is great to get to sit with you and talk to you. So now we can say if in the future, once he's holding that goal, we talk to them.
And honestly, deep down inside, like Kamaru has always said, is like if he was able to give an opportunity to somebody, he'd say you. You won't hear it. He may not be fighting for that long, but he has mentioned it in our podcast, and so he's you know, he's secretly a big fan too.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Thank you.
But as always, my man, and we just got done talking to the nightmare,
Yeah,
Carlos.
dude, that's too much, dude. Bria. We're going to take a quick break from this episode to thank our sponsor, Lucy. A huge shout out to Lucy for supporting the show all summer.
Now, if you don't know, Lucy makes modern nicotine products, pouches, gums, and specialty pouches called Lucy Breaker.
Those breaker pouches are great because they have a flavor bead inside of the pouch that pops in your mouth. I can still remember trying my first breaker pouch and that flavor rush. Woo! When that bead pops in that mouth, it is a wild experience. Woo!
Pause. Jeez. What's great about Lucy is it's not loaded with tobacco leaf and all that stuff you find in older products. Just clean ingredients, multiple strengths from 4, 8, all the way up to 12 milligrams.
They got a wide variety of flavors for whatever you are feeling. Wintergreen, mint, mango, grape, espresso. They got it all.
We're a big fan of Lucy, and they've been a great supporter of the show. So make sure you go out there and check them out.
Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/pound for pound and use promo code pound for pound to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refundable policy if you change your damn mind. Again, that's lucy.co. Use code pound for pound to get 20% off.
And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Now let's get back to the episode. Henry Cejudo, that was a fantastic interview with our man, Carlos Prates. Yeah, he's going to be fighting August 16th, UFC 319. That is an amazing card. And the card, there's been a couple little changes here. But, Henry, the newest news coming into that card is there's a new co-main event, Henry. And this is something that I think we talked about this previously in the past, is that we would love to see a fight like this to basically determine who was going to be next in line to challenge Alexander Volkanovski for that featherweight title. And right now, LaRon Murphy has raised his hand to take on the hot new contender in the division in Aaron Pico. And man, Henry, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I personally feel like Kamaru, like the winner of this fight is going to fight Alexander Volkanovski, and I also feel like the winner of this fight is going to become our next champion, dude. All due respect to Volk.
Whoa.
Yeah, all due respect to him, but dude, these young guns, Kamaru, LaRon Murphy is fighting Aaron Pico. Like Aaron Pico is in his fucking prime, bro. Power, wrestling. He's been a man child since he was a kid, already competing at the highest levels while in high school, beating world champions. And then LaRon Murphy, what he's been able to do to a lot of these fighters, man, undefeated, very tricky, brings in a lot of like the wrestling, and he's different. He's like a Marab, like you just they're pretty unpredictable. And how is it that he's able to use that wrestling? So I'm excited for this co-main event. I think this co-main event is the most competitive fight, in my opinion, this whole fight card.
Wow. I mean, way to start off with some wild shit, Henry. I mean, you say some wild shit, but Jesus, this is some wild shit. What?
Am I wrong?
You very wrong. Wait, you're saying that the winner of this fight is going to be the next champion? You said that definitively, like they're going to be the next champion.
Yeah.
My man, what I think a better way to put that, because I guess I got to help you, my brother.
And honestly,
so
I got Aaron Pico.
You're my brother. I got to help you out sometimes. Yeah, the winner, what you meant to say is the winner of this fight has a potentially good chance of becoming the next featherweight champion. That doesn't mean they're going to beat the featherweight champion, because Alexander Volkanovski is the champion, former pound for pound king. So, hey, put some respect on his name, man. Don't just come out.
Right,
he was able to do to Diego Lopez.
So confident, Kamaru. Since you feel so
Hold
confident,
on. Let
Kamaru,
me
dude,
hold on.
let's
Let
throw
me
an egg on it.
all right, hold on. Let me combat some of the wild shit you just said before we just started this. And on top of that, you went as far as saying this is the most competitive fight on the whole fight card. Come
Yeah,
on, you got Carlos Prates taking on Geoff Neal. You've got
practice cuts that.
Dricus Duplessis taking on Khamzat Chimaev. My man, come on. Come on. How dare you with that blasphemous statement? How dare you say that? Huh?
Yeah.
That's
No, it's
blasphemy.
I stand by it, Kamaru. I think you the only reason why I say that too because they're both similar in age and they both have gone through the ringer. And obviously, with Laurent Murphy being undefeated and Aaron Pico, obviously we know him. He's well known in the wrestling world and what he's been able to do. He's taken his bumps and bruises, and to me, in my opinion, this is to me again. To me, to the
And
Triple C, this is the most competitive fight. And then the other one, I mean, obviously, you know what? The main event, obviously, the main event is tricky too. But but better yet, I'll do it this way. Pico and the co-main event and main event, both those things are fire. Like nobody knows who's really gonna win, but I'm really leaning towards to Aaron Pico in the co, and then main event, I got
well,
my boy DDP.
well, my man, listen. Before we get into that, let me combat the third wild shit you just said. You said Laurent Murphy is fights like Marab Dvalishvili. No, not even close. I would tell you this right now. Laurent Murphy is for a Brit, because there's been typically that stigma that Brits can't really wrestle and this and that. Laurent Murphy has done a phenomenal job at being able to mix his style and all of that. And of course, Aaron Pico, we know, is a wrestler. How is he going to be able to mix it in the fight like this? Because Laurent Murphy, one thing we've noticed from him is he's very, very intelligent, and he does what it takes to get the win. But hey, we will get you a whole breakdown of that fight coming up. I don't need your predictions, because I guarantee you, Henry, you're going to feel different, as the fight gets closer. So listen,
Hold on,
we're going to
hold on,
break that
Kush.
in.
Are you
We're going to
making
get
this
into
about
that.
race again, Kush? Hold on,
What do you
hold
mean
on,
about race?
Kush.
Aaron Pico's my boy. What are you talking about? It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, we'll get a
No,
full breakdown next week.
of
So
course.
UFC 319 breakdown, we'll get the whole card down and we'll get our predictions, because you talking crazy right now. But I like that from you. I like
Woo!
that. But let's go ahead and roll on into UFC 320 with some of the big announcements that we've gotten so far. As we know, that's Ankalaev taking on Pereira 2. I mean, this is a big one, because is Pereira done? Or can he go wrestle back that title from Ankalaev? And of course, the fight that we've been waiting for. I think one of the most electrifying guys, and let me take that back, one of the most entertaining guys inside and outside of the octagon right now, Merab Devalash. Dang, how can I not say the name right now, Henry? That's crazy.
Let me
Merab
let
Delashvili taking on Corey the Sandman Sandhagen. I can't believe I just butchered that last name right now. Merab. Henry, go ahead.
are
Go
you on
for me.
that
Go ahead.
Kush?
Go.
I mean,
Come at me, Henry. Come at me. I can't believe I just butchered Merab's name after he taught me how to say it few
yeah,
different
I
times.
literally had to learn. I had to learn it after that damn fight. I mean, the dude is a real deal. But the biggest threat it is Corey in that whole division. And I can. Anyways, we can get that. We can get to that. You're right, Kush. But a lot of great announcements, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously too, there is a big. Yuri's going to be the backup in that fight for that co-main event. So I mean, for that main event. So it's going to be good, man. So what that tells you is if the winner of Roundtree and Yuri is more likely going to fight for that title next. So if they're kind of doing that whole somebody misses weight like Yuri's in, that's telling you that the winner of this fight is going to fight for that title.
I like that, but there are circumstances have to work out and things have to kind of come together in order for that to be. Obviously, if Yuri Prohaska goes out there and gets the job done, and Ankalaev gets the job done again, then yes, of course, that's the next fight. Or if Khalil Roundtree gets the job done and Ankalaev gets the job done, that's the next fight. But I think if Alex Pereira is able to go out there and get the job done, then you're looking at Pereira and Ankalaev 3 that probably will take place before there's a next challenger up. And of course, I think that UFC is going to be hesitant to do Pereira versus Prohaska. What is it, 4 or however many times they fought? So I think some things kind of have to come into play in order for that to take place. But Henry, moving on, and I'll be honest, this is one that I'm really, really excited about, which is going into the fourth quarter of the year, and we're talking about the heavyweight champion of the world, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Tom
Oh wow!
Aspinall.
So you're rubbing it in like that, Kush.
No, I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just giving him his due props because since the former undisputed champion has retired, Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the world, and he's taking on, rightfully so, the number one contender in Cyril Bongamin. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fight right here, Kamaru, is going to determine whether John Jones comes back or not. John Jones wants to see a little bit of more of Tom, and then who knows? And then we may see the return of Bones Jones. So we're talking to vary from what these guys are thinking about doing, or what
So,
John is thinking about his next step. You know, John's a calculated dude, man. You guys don't believe everything you guys see on TMZ.
yeah, but I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing it anymore. And you know what? When obviously, um, in our interview that we just had with Dominic Reyes. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's down below. Go back and check that out on Pound for Pound. We had Dominic Reyes, former light heavyweight title challenger against John Jones, did give us his thoughts and kind of how things are transpiring right now in that division. And Henry, I have to be honest, I kind of agree. If I'm the company, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not playing. I'm out. I'm coming back. I'm out. I'm not coming back. All right, give me 20 million. And there's a possible. I'm not. Listen, I don't want to play that game. Listen, John Jones's legacy is cemented. John Jones, I consider him the greatest that has been inside that UFC octagon. I consider him that, you know. But as far as the way this one thing that you and I have definitely learned is that this sport moves on. It moves on and it keeps going. And so to play that game or maybe not, it's you can't sit there and say, no, I want to see more from him before I fight him. No. If that's the next guy up, this is part of what adds to your legacy. This is what made you great. Is if the company says this is the next guy up that can defeat you, you go, what? All right, let's go then. You take him down, then they oh no, never mind. This is the next guy. And then you take him down, then like this is the next guy. Then you take him down. That's what makes you the best ever. Not sitting back and going, nah, I want to see more from him. Or if he shows you something that's really good, you're like, no, I'm done. I'm retired. No, let's not play that game, Henry. I don't think this determines anything. I think this goes out there and determines and solidifies Tom Aspinall as the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world if he's able to get past a guy as dynamic and as well-rounded as Cyril Gane.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I got you, man. I do want to see, dude. I want to see Jones fucking shut everybody up, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's different. But that being said, Kush, did you see Arman is trolling? I mean, sorry, yeah, Arman is trolling Ilya to a point like you wouldn't believe, bro. I mean, check this out, dude. I mean,
I
he's
did
fucking
I did see this.
doing the whole duck thing.
I did see this, and I thought this was I did I
Look at that. Look at that.
I saw that, and listen, I would say this right here. This is this is beyond amazing. That's funny. That's hilarious. I like that right there. I like that. This is gamesmanship. This is selling it to fans like ours. This is the kind of fans that we have that like to see this kind of things because hey, these
Yeah.
fans come here to get their daily dose of violence. That's what they want. And if you can
Yeah.
build that up for them outside, this means more dollars for the lightweight champion in Ilia Topuria. This makes this fight humongous. So I like that for both guys. If Arman Tsarukyan is able to go in there and get the job done, well then guess what, Arman? You have made yourself a star already by some of these antics that you've built it up, to build this fight up. And Ilia Topuria, as we know, is already a star. And he's gonna continue to just be a bigger star if he's able to stop all these guys that are trolling, that are trying to basically, call him this or call him that. His job is just to be the champion, to defend. So I like it. Whoever is doing all of this, I like it. I like it. I like it on both ends. I like Ilia Topuria doing what he's doing as a champion, and I like what Arman Tsarukyan is doing as a challenger, because I've been in that situation. Henry, you've been in that situation, and we definitely were happy on the other end once we were eventually able to get in there with that next contender and we were able to get the job done. We were definitely happy with that check that we got after that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But to go back to it, like Armin's doing a really good job of just trolling him, and it's to the point where I did a really good video on it yesterday. That shit went viral, man. I mean, Armin collaborated like a lot of these guys, Bisbing, Cormier, Paul Felder, uh, dude, everybody and their damn mama, they want to see that fight. They don't want to see a fight with Patty the Batty, man. And then Armin getting on the Nelk Boys podcast. And then he's saying that he'll never give Armin a chance, for the belt. Like he'll rather relinquish that. Like the UFC one does not want to hear that, man. Like once you start thinking you're bigger than the UFC, start to become public enemy number one. Like you know what I'm saying? You gotta, even though you are a champion, you do have two belts. You still don't hold leverage like as you do. So if I'm a guy like Ilia Topuria, and he did the right thing, and even I'm gonna give you an example. Even Cormier, when Cormier Cormier mentioned it to Bisping, he was like, "Okay, Bisping, you had a chance to fight Yoel Romero, but what did Bisping do?" And he said it to Bisping. It says, "You went after GSP, the bigger name, but the easier fight." Not saying that GSP is easy, but if you had your poison of picking Yoel Romero or GSP, I'm going with GSP. So it was exactly what Bisping did. So again, if being a guy like Michael Chandler, who is 7-2 in the UFC, gets you a title shot, then man, there maybe Laurent's quote of the UFC being more of an entertainment company is that maybe that's what the UFC is a little bit more, and I think people need to understand that game. But rightfully so, I get it. We got to give Armin the benefit of the doubt. He had back spasm. And if you're not 100%, dude, you also don't want to sacrifice that world title. But I'm gonna ask you, Kamaru, and I get it, and let's get the bias of you and Justin Gaethje out, because you remember whether he did the UFC a favor or not. And again, dude, I'm boys. I know just we're kids. Rightfully so. What do you think the UFC should do, bro? If you're in that position, you fought your way to become one of the greatest welterweights of all time. You went through everybody. I feel like Armin has kind of somewhat done the same thing. But what if you're Dana White and you're strictly thinking of competition? What do you think needs to be done here, Kamara?
What do you mean? You mean as far as the lightweight title picture?
Of
What needs to
course, it
happen
has to
next?
move on. I mean, does
Okay.
Patty the Batty deserve this title shot?
Well, is that? I guess maybe I'm in the woods. Is that something that they're being serious about? That they're thinking about doing?
Yeah, man. Remember when we did that interview with Ali? Ali mentioned it. He's
Right.
like, "This is what the UC want to do." Remember that?
Yeah, I think see, the one thing about the company I think is, and I think this is smart, the company is always thinking, how are we rolling forward? How are we rolling forward 2 steps ahead? Okay, if this guy defeats that guy, who's next in line, who has put themselves in position to still give us a big fight, and still, so if the company's thinking like that, I understand them thinking, okay, UK versus Spain, this is going to be a big one. They already got some type of issue later. But you can't. One of the reasons the UFC is considered one of the premier company when it comes to mixed martial arts is because the best fights the best. The best guy fights the next best guy, and the next best guy, and the next best guy. So it would really kind of be a spit to the face of those merits of who the best fights the next best guy, if you're gonna skip a Dan Hooker, if you're skipping a Justin Gaethje, if you're skipping an Arman Tsarukyan, if you're skipping a Mateus Gamrot, all of these guys that have been there, that have put work in, and just say, oh, Patty the Batty, you beat one guy in the top 10 or top 5. You fight for the title next. I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe he's fought one guy in the top 10, which is Michael Chandler.
What
I
number
believe
was
so.
Chandler too? By the way, I'm surprised he's
I
even in the
believe.
top 10, dude.
No, I mean, and I believe Chandler's. I want to say 8, 9, maybe 10. I'm not sure. I don't know the rankings off the top of my head, but I would say that's the and it's not Patty's fault. Patty has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Patty's done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got let me see. Let's go to the lightweight rankings. If we're looking at the lightweight rankings, you've got Ilia Topuria, and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense. If you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, can you blow that up so we can see that? If you're not going to do yeah, you've got if you're not gonna, I don't know why Islam is still there, but if you're not gonna do a Arman Tsarukyan, or you're not gonna do a Justin Gaethje, then like, yes, you've got Dan Hooker there. You've got Mateus Gamrot. You've got all these Benil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblett. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot, that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best guy. So if it's not going to be
Wow,
Justin Gaethje,
Kamaru with 5. Wow.
hey, I'm just saying. I'm speaking. I'm just being honest. If it's not going to be that, I think it needs to be. Because if it was Justin Gaethje, you would have made the fight already.
Yeah.
But the fact that you haven't made that fight already tells me that you want Justin Gaethje to maybe have another fight. So if that's the case, then it's got to be Arman Tsarukyan. Easy as that. Yeah,
I like that. I like that. You're 100% right. You're right. If it's not just in Gaethje, Armin, but it can't be Patty.
absolutely.
But this is the difference between the UFC and the Olympics, man. And when people ask me all the time, what's the greater merit? The Olympics, you're not going to pick and choose. It's you got to show up on that particular day and then do it.
Absolutely. And listen, and don't take anything away. I think Paddy Pimblett, like I said, has done a phenomenal job with the opposition he's been given. I just think let's get him someone in that top 5. We'll get him someone in that top 5. And if Paddy Pimblett, because right now he's on a rocket ship, if you're able to give him someone in that top 5, and Paddy Pimblett can go out there and and just go out there and get it finished. Oh yeah, Paddy Pimblett has definitely said that. Hey, you put me in the top 15. I beat the guy, so I can cut the line to the top 10. You put me in the top 10, I beat the guy, so I can cut the line to the top 5. You put me in the top 5 with the guy, and I'm able to beat that guy. Oh yeah, I cut the line. I'm next in line for the title because he's doing a great job. So hey, Paddy Pimblett, I think has a really good chance of potentially fighting for that title. But look, Henry, look at those top 4. You're talking about killers right there. You got Charles Oliveira. You've got just Mike Holloway. You've got Justin Gaethje. Oof.
Yeah,
I think that's
if it's yeah, you're right. If it's not Armin, it's Gaethje, man. Like that's it's plain and simple. It's plain and simple.
yeah.
Or if it's not Gaethje, it's Armin
It's Arman
Sarukyan.
Tsarukyan. I
Yeah,
agree.
it's
I
wow.
agree.
We're
Well,
finally agreeing on something, Kamaru.
we
Wow,
are. I
I
mean, you
thought this day
came
would never
on.
come.
I mean, you came on saying some wild shit, but we moved past that. We moved past that. But and then let's moving into my division. There's still it's still up in the air of, because it's not being confirmed yet. They're saying, okay, Islam Makhachev is going to be the next in line of challenge for that welterweight title. It's still like we're running out of dates here this year of when that fight's going to be. So I believe October has just been announced. So we're moving into the next pay per view, which is November, which historically, is at Madison Square Garden. So if that's the case, which fight is fitting to be put in Madison Square Garden? I do know historically, welterweights have kind of had a staple at Madison Square Garden to where they do such a phenomenal job there. So I would think that JDM versus Islam Makhachev is the fight that potentially will headline
Yeah, well,
Madison
can I tell you
Square
something,
Garden.
Kush?
What's up?
Our boy, our Habib Nurmagomedov actually broke it down at this at this convention event with the Islamic worship event in NYC. So he broke the news to all the Muslim brothers before before he broke it to
Really?
the Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? So
I
it's
don't
pretty
know if
much
that's
it looks like
that's
it is going to be MSG.
I like that. I like that. So, hey, if that's the case, then absolutely, I think that kind of puts a move on that title to where we can kind of start to see a shuffle in that welterweight division again. Because you see it. That's where it goes. It's if that title is sitting idle, then you kind of have fights just kind of sitting there like, oh, what's next? What's next? But if that title's moving, you get guys moving, you get fights going, you get welterweights going out there and doing some incredible things. Same with the lightweight picture, So moving on, I mean, again, McGregor is back in the testing pool here, and Henry, I think I mean, imagine this: is there a world where Conor McGregor goes through all the testing, gets a fight booked, and we actually see Conor McGregor inside the UFC cage again? Is there a world where that happens?
Honestly, at this point, I can give two fucks. I really don't care. I think Connor should just stick to BKFC, man. Just build that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care, dude. Like he's the same thing. Whether we can hate him or not, I mean, he's became a two division champion. I think that's what he's going to be known for, and obviously his antics. But I think in better news, man, that you and Ben Askren finally made up, dude. From you guys trying to scrap each other at the hallways to now, you guys are both Jolly Green Giants, dude. A big shout out to Ben Askren, Kamaru. Obviously, it's the fighting over for him. He got the lung transplant not too long ago. He had to go back to the hospital due to an infection, I believe. But for a lot of people, man, it was kind of explained to me what happens when you get a lung transplant. It's almost like, your body's trying to recognize this, tries to fight things that are not your organs. And then that this is where you kind of drugs are kind of put into you so you can be kind of somewhat normalized. But I'm not sure how it is, but it's a continued battle. But a big shout out, man, to Ben, my Olympic teammate. When we went to the Olympics together, we're actually roommates. Even though Ben was freaking always gone, he was always sightseeing. The dude's different, man. But big shout out, dude. I know you had a lot of nice things to say about Ben Askren, dude, and just our prayers go out to him and his family, dude, and hopefully this fight is hopefully we can make this fight a lot more
Yeah,
ease for him and the family.
yeah, yeah, we had our thing in the past, and seeing that, honestly, it was it's something that's very touching because the wrestling community is so small. Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers in the world, but it's a very, very small community, and it's a tight knit community because, like Gable said, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. And yeah, but Ben Askren is in the fight for his life, has been in the fight for his life for some time now, and seeing that was honestly was kind of like, oh wow, someone, because at first I'm like, because I know he was back home, and then I saw that there was a tweet towards me. I'm like, oh whoa, Ben tweeted me, so he back on social media, and I did really think about him, and while he was in the hospital, and obviously you never want to hear news like that, and I thought about his family, what his wife and children would have to, what they're going through. So it was up for me to just kind of give him, send a couple of little words of encouragement towards him, just to encourage him because he is in for a fight and he's doing a great job fighting that fight. All right, Henry. Today we've got a question from a casual. It says Caio Borralho is weighing in as a backup for Duplessis versus Chimaev at UFC 319 next week. Do you think it's smart for him to cut weight to be back up just 3 weeks before he has to cut weight for his main event with Nassourdine Imavov? Or could this be problematic? I'll just give
Damn,
you my 2
that's
cents. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it's actually great. I think it's really, really great for him because Henry, we know as wrestlers that had to make weight every week, we know that if I can get that done, boom, no injuries, control that diet, and have to make weight again, there's no problem. I think it actually helps him. I think it does, but obviously in MMA, we have all these guys that do a massive weight cut and put themselves kind of in a weight situation where they can only make it once every 6 months or 4 months. I think that's problematic. But if he can make it and then, stay in good enough shape to make it again 3 weeks later, I think it actually helps him.
yeah, you're right, bro. And I think it all depends on age too, man. Because if he was a little older, let's say these guys were like in their, late, it'd be hard. But I think for Borrell, first of all, let me say something. These questions from a casual, these casuals are starting to get pretty witty over here, man. This is a great question, but I feel like Borrello's young enough for his body to recover. And if he has the right sciences, which I know he does, coming, spending some time with the fight nerds, like they're gonna know when is it that they're gonna actually gonna peak him again. Cause making a weight cut, it's almost like a peak because you do have to drain all that weight to get down. And then, you got to find out what is it you have to do to be able to feel that recovery 3 weeks later. For Borralho, because he's younger, because he has a right team, I don't see it as a problem. But if it was somebody like Tony Ferguson, remember Tony Ferguson pulled that he would make weight. I don't know, he made weight or he did something just to prove himself. Bro, he fought to that last week. He felt it the week before. I forget when it was that he just decided to make weight just to make weight, and that shit bit him in the ass. So it's not always like that, Kush. But for a guy like Borralho that has the right scientific teams with the fighting nerds, like these guys add science to their training. So I think for Borralho, he's going to be okay. And I agree with you. I think he's going to be even better than ever because he's made that weight. He's already felt that fatigue. And then when he feels it again, it's going to be like, all right, I've been here before.
Right. I agree with you, Henry. Well, Henry, that is our episode for the day. I mean, want to thank, one of my favorites, welterweight prospect right now, in Carlos Prates. I think we're all on the edge of our seats to see how he's able to rebound, after that decision loss to Ian Gary, how he's able to rebound, get back on the track here, and really propel himself towards that welterweight title. So, yeah, on the edge of our seats, Henry. But as always, I am the Nigerian Nightmare. You see me out here, Henry. You see me. I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
Bro, put that egg away, bro. Put that egg away. We are out.